Ladies and gentlemen, we got a little problem here. My right rear tire does not want to go straight, so I try to drive forward. She wants to kind of go on an angle here. See.
Well, good morning. I guess this is going to be my last Friday at work before school starts, so I'm going to go up there and do something, I guess. Got my wisdom teeth out on Wednesday. It's Friday right now, but if you can see here, they're still a little bit swollen there. That's where they had issues getting it out. So I'm going to go up there and I'm going to give Ross this. He's going to go spray, we think. So I'm going to go give him that. And then I got paperwork I gotta work on for Dad. I got some other stuff I gotta do, so I also gotta go down and spray, so we're gonna go do all that, and then hopefully we can get all that done before I go back to school on Monday. So I came down here to Ross because I was gonna help him out and give him a little bit of lesson, and hopefully it went well, and hopefully he takes in what I taught him and learns from it.
Find out.
Are you gonna find out? Are you gonna learn from it?
Yes.
Okay, that's good.
Use what you taught me.
I'm not hating on you.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to use.
And here's Dad calling about our bug issue. So if you see here, there's a little slug right there, or a worm, or whatever you want to call it. People call it different things. Going across the windshield. And we just wanted to check with Dad, make sure that it was okay for the corn, but we don't really know. And take a look. There's flags up there.
America. See, I kind of, from last video we had, or from, it'll be in Sunday's video. I kind of had him a little different. I kind of took him and remounted him differently. So they stuck up a little more, but I think before I go somewhere else, I'm going to have to lower them down. Because when I had the booms all the way down. Didn't realize how high they'd stick out when I'd raise it all the way up. So.
Thank Ross. You have a noggin in there, use it.
I didn't realize how high it'd be when I raised it up all the way.
So basically what I was doing was I was teaching Ross, because on these ends, he's forgetting a little bit here, about 2 rows in. So that's about roughly 5 foot. I was just helping him figure it out and make sure that he's hitting the end of the row, or hitting the end of the field. So then that way we aren't having a bunch of mare's tail, water hemp, and all kinds of other stuff on the end of the field for when we're picking corn. And I don't know, maybe I helped him, maybe I didn't, but hopefully I did. Because it's nice having him in the sprayer, because he'll run it all night if he has to. And it's going to disappear into the corn here in a minute. See, the thing about spraying fungicide on tall corn like that is, I've done it for probably 3 or 4 years and I still don't know everything. It's a learning curve. You gotta sit there and you gotta learn. It takes a lot of time to learn to do something like that, because you gotta follow all the rows. And it's not like you can see the end of the field, where like whenever I'm spraying beans, I can see the end of the boom and I can see the end of the field pretty well. Well, with tall corn like that, you can't tell if there's like a smaller row out here on the end or something that you're missing. So I mean, it's just a learning curve that you have to learn, and we got to sit down and teach them. We got to keep pumping information to them and trying to get them to learn it. So I mean, that's all it is a learning curve, and I'm just trying to help them out, trying to teach them, and things have kind of slowed down now, so it's a good time to do it. I'm kind of mad because my sunglasses got a crack in them. My little bitty, yeah, you know, kind of mad. $20 pair of Oakleys, crack. That's definitely not odd. Just kidding, they're not actually Oakleys. I bought them in whenever we went to New York in the spring. Whenever we went to New York, I bought them from some guy that was walking up and down the streets. So yeah. So I'm down here looking in the White River bottoms, and so far I've found that these are these are pretty clean, so I don't know that I'm gonna have to worry about spraying them, but I will eventually have to come down here and probably have to run Roundup over the top of it just to be careful. Usually I don't have to spray. I only spray this once whenever we do this. This field has had beans on beans on beans for at least 4 or 5 years because the river's been up every time we try to come down here and plant corn. So we haven't been able to get corn on it. I hope that we can get corn on it next year because it'll be good corn ground if we can get corn on it. But the river goes up and then we end up losing it most of the time, so we usually just wait until the river goes down the first time and plant beans on it. But who knows, next year's going to be a different year, that's for sure. Hopefully we don't see another year like what we did this year where everything's pushed back and everything's late behind and everything else. So I'm looking at these beans. As you can see, they're full of pod, and inside the pod we got beans. If I can get one out without destroying it. There. So that's good. We got beans. Not really seeing too much for disease in this field or bugs or anything, so I don't think I'm too worried about it. But these beans do look good. They're kind of short, which is good at some points, because if you get them growing too tall, the beans get more worried about growing taller than what they do about getting pods, and you want more pods than you want height. But I mean, as you can see here, it's only about at my waist in places, and these are some of our earlier planted beans. This is the field that I had that Sean had planted, and then we had a 4-inch rain right after it. We didn't think that was going to make it. Everything that was planted down there all drowned it out. So I mean, these are pretty healthy looking beans. They look actually really well, so hopefully they'll produce something. I'd say that these will do probably at least a 60 if not 80 bushel bean. I mean, yeah, you can see here they're just full of pods, and that's good. That's what you want. You want all kinds of pods. Spacing looks good, the count looks good, so hopefully oh my, them ones look a little bit taller. See, here's a perfect representation actually. See, if you've done a pod count on this one that's taller, you'd notice that there's less pods than one like this that's shorter and full of pods at the bottom. So yeah, kind of an interesting little tip. But a lot of times whenever, like if dicamba drifts over a bean field, a lot of times you'll hear somebody like complaining about it, but if they hit it at the right stage, it'll get a bean from growing real tall like what's out there to kind of shorter like this. And it basically takes that plant's focus off of worrying about growing in height and puts it more towards putting out a pod and putting blooms and stuff like that on, because it basically cancels out one part of the growth stage. So, I mean, these aren't Liberty beans. I mean, these aren't Liberty beans, obviously, but you get what I'm saying by it. So I've been doing some research and I've found that apparently a time warp is better than a time lapse. So I'm gonna try that. Ross is doing the same thing. I am going to go down and spray. I got about a 40-acre field I gotta do, so I'm gonna go do it, and then hopefully I can get done, get out of there pretty quick, and then be back home. So, in the last place I sprayed was up there at Robinson with that night spraying video. So we're going to go, or I gotta put in Choice Trio to spray what I gotta do next. So we're gonna fill up with it here and hopefully be able to go down there and get that done. Hopefully. See, all I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take and put it out of that pump into this jug. Be pretty quick and easy. So and then also what I'm gonna do is on this field, because I still have Delara on my sprayer, I'm gonna run 10 gallon to the acre to see if coverage makes a difference on this run or not. We're gonna try that out and see. I run 10 gallon to the acre, I'll have enough to do about 50 acres. So I'm gonna run probably about 5 at 14 gallon to the acre, which is what I was running. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna try that, just kind of change it up a little bit and get a little bit more of an estimate on if what I'm doing is right or not. So I had someone request that I put the camera to where you can see like kind of my area. So I'm gonna do a little bit of that. And then we're gonna switch from that to unfolding the boom and then everything else. So tell me what you think about it. Just called me and he's broke down. He's down there on Steckler's, and we're not really sure what's going on, but the all-wheel steer stopped working on the haggie. I'm gonna run down there and try and see if I can figure it out. He had just called me just now and said that it's working again now, but I told him just stop, pull off, or get up there towards the road or something so then I can get to it and we can look at it. But I got my tester and stuff. We're gonna check it and make sure that everything is working right. That's supposed to be working. UPS truck. Maybe my drone came today. Yeah, and I guess the cat's out of the bag now, but I ordered a new drone the other day. It's supposed to be here either today or Monday. So yeah, that was a little bit down the... Finally dropped the bucket and I went ahead and done it. I figured it was needed and I figured you guys deserved it. So we get a new, whenever I get this new drone, it's a Mavic Pro. I'm I'm gonna keep it for a while, and then whenever I get enough money saved up from what I make off YouTube, I'm gonna put it back into another drone and probably buy the Mavic Pro 2, or if they have another one out by then, I'll buy the other one. But yeah. What I did is I tried to back it up, turn it around. And... What'd you do?
I honestly don't know. I got it on the other GoPro, so.
Ross broke it again. So we're gonna see if we can try and fix it. What they thought at John Deere was, they think that the solenoid came unplugged. So we're gonna have to check that. I am not really sure what's going on here, but that wheel's straight, this one's turned, and the other two are turned. This one should not be turned right now.
Yeah, that's what I did. I had the same problem. So it was like this, and so I called him, and as I was backing up to the road, I fixed it. Don't know what I did, and then it broke again.
It's all your fault. So we found our issue. It seems that whenever this wire jiggles around, it's got a loose connection, and whenever that wiggles around, it's causing it to go loose. And it's not getting connection with the solenoid right there. It tells this cylinder to turn. So we're gonna try and fix it temporarily for now, because the all-wheel steer helps them keep from running over corn. And then it'll probably have to go to John Deere. We think we fixed Ross's problem temporarily.
I bet it's a short in that wiring harness. Where that wire is.
I bet it's so short that it just ripped it out whenever he was turning or something. That, or it was because we didn't have it zip tied up and it wiggled around and caused it to break loose.
Yeah.
So Ross is going to keep an eye on that, right?
Yeah.
And then hopefully whenever he keeps an eye on it, we'll know if it's doing it again by if you go back there and wiggle that wiring harness, because that's what I did. Went back there and I picked up on that wiring harness, and the tire started to turn, and it about got my foot underneath the tire. So yeah, hopefully that'll do it.
Yeah, me too. Getting tired.
You look kind of sad.
Yeah, I'm getting tired of messing with this thing.
Okay. So I figured that the best thing to do would be to bring you guys up here and show you what we're doing here. So we brought the haggie back home, so then we're in the shop. We got all these wires here right off the back of this cylinder to the solenoid to these solenoids and everything like that controls the whatchamacallit, and then it runs into the control module down there, or something down there, some kind of another wiring harness. But we gotta check and see if we can find out where this short is, and if not, if we can't find it, then we just have to put a new wiring harness on it. We got the new wiring harness. So now what we're doing here is we're taking this wiring harness, we're putting this one on and switching this one out, but we gotta be careful to make sure we get it all plugged into the same place. So taking my time and trying to do it. Ross is down there unhooking everything, I think. Attempting to. So and then if you see back here, this is probably the worst place to run this sensor. There's a little air sensor right here. It's ran up underneath there, and I think that's actually where it got pinched at. So we're gonna take that off, and then we're gonna reroute it up over the top of this instead of underneath it, and then stick it inside this big loom. This loom basically just protects the hoses and stuff like that as it's turning. See, all the hoses and wires are in there, and you can see where it kind of rubs sometimes. So we're also going to tape all these wire connections in together so then they don't wiggle around too much more, and then we're going to zip tie them all up to these hoses and run them around through all these hoses back in. Ross is working on getting that other one unplugged. That's where this one goes. So as you can see here, we taped that, zip tied it all through there, all through here. And then instead of running this wire through here, which I didn't think was a very smart idea, we went ahead and put it on top, just zip tied it up to some stuff to kind of keep it out of the way. And hopefully that'll work better than what it did. We're gonna back out of the shop here in a minute and kind of move it around. Ross is in there working on finishing that up.
My zip tie work. Hi viewers. Hi all two of you.
Ross and his fancy hood. Cummins engine. Oh, I missed it. There we go. Alright, let's go try this thing out. So if you can tell here, this is turned right. And everything seems like it's staying out of a bind. And then for us to put down a ladder, we can get down, but the tracks all seem to be right through there. So if you can see here, we kind of test swerved it through here, just trying to test and see if everything was working right. And you can see that it was working right, because if not, then you would have two separate tracks. So now Ross has no excuse for running over corn. Am I right, Ross?
Yeah.
All right, good deal. So, and this right here is why all-wheel steer is kind of crucial to have on a tall corn sprayer like this. See how we followed the exact same track basically as that other one. See how that one tire just looks like it kind of went straight through there, and then the other tire kind of swerved out. And then on this one, it's all basically a straight line. So Ross, what do you got to do from now on?
Use all-wheel steer.
Good idea. So anyways, guys, that's gonna be all for today's video. So if you would please remember to like, subscribe, leave a comment down below. 1.5 thousand likes and we'll get you guys some t-shirts. New drones on the way for some awesome footage above the cornfield of that.
And you know what you guys need to do? If you guys have any friends or anything, tell them about our channel. Tell them to come on over and view it out. And then if you get everybody you know to like our videos, we'll have t-shirts.
Ross is thinking now.